We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Enough is enough! I have had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane! Everybody strap in!
Well, United doing something really nice because of the wildfires in Southern California. The United Airlines folks are issuing travel waivers to people, which is really lovely to help affected customers. The waiver is for passengers booked on United Airlines flights out of Hollywood Burbank or Los Angeles International Airport between January 7th and 9th. This will let impacted travelers reschedule their journey until January 15th, which is really, really nice. So we have, look at this video. I think this was taken from aboard a plane. Look at that with a
Yeah, the
view
overhead shots
overhead
are
from the
crazy.
wildfires. Yeah, look at the wide area affected by these wildfires. Absolutely amazing. I was wondering though, Albert, when you have these winds that are upwards of 60 miles per hour, how safe it is to fly in this type of weather.
I'm not sure if I mean, some of these aircrafts are really large and I think could handle that, but I'm not
Mhm.
quite sure about that.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
it would be, I mean, especially with the Santa Ana winds. These are the same. This is like the same shot. If you took this shot on January 31st, like
Mhm.
they're all fireworks, and now it's just fire, actual fire. So
Wow. What a view out that plane, man. And so United Airlines, again, doing right by its customers. We have this incident, and this one was more closer to the Bay Area. This man has been banned from flying after allegedly urinating on a passenger during a flight out of SFO.
What?
This, I know, this happened on United Airlines. This man allegedly urinated on a Bay Area resident during a flight from San Francisco to the Philippines. It happened December 27th when Jerome Gutierrez of Hillsborough was traveling in business class from SFO to Manila. According to his family members, he got up from his seat. Another man, rather, got up from his seat and began urinating on Jerome about 4 hours into the flight. What a nightmare.
What the hell is going on in the United States of America?
This is a new one. The man's stepdaughter says he was asleep and buckled in and was surprised when he looked at the man and he thought he was dreaming. After the man had finished, Jerome realized he was soaked from his stomach down in that man's urine. Ew. United flight attendants asked
My bad.
Jerome.
I'm sorry.
No, that's more than a my bad. I'm sorry. United flight attendants asked Jerome not to approach the man in fear there would be some kind of violent confrontation. They said the United provided Jerome pajamas to wear so he could get out of those soaked clothes. And the stepdaughter says they put the needs of the airline before my stepdad's health. I'm so disgusted and in shock with how United handled this. That is a biohazard. The plane should have turned around to address this issue. I don't know. I tend to think that's a little bit extreme. They gave him pajamas. They let him, they helped him clean up, gave him something to wear, and having a violent confrontation in the skies really does no good. United only says there was a passenger disturbance on that flight, that the airline asked the police to meet the aircraft when it arrived in Manila Saturday morning, and that they have now banned that passenger. I don't know what else they could do. I mean, I don't know what else she wanted them to do. Turn the plane around because of that? 4 hours into the flight? I don't
yeah,
think so.
spot.
Yeah, I can see that she's upset, but I don't think so. Pamela Anderson is saying that she was confronted on a plane by an angry passenger who thought she was someone else. She's telling the story now of how she was confronted aboard a flight after being mistaken by a member of the country band The Chicks, formerly the Dixie Chicks. She was interviewed about her new movie called The Last Showgirl, and she said she was targeted by a fellow passenger. She said, "This one time I was on a flight and this guy came up to me and said, 'Do you know what this country's done for you?' And she said, 'Oh my God, what have I done?' She said, 'I looked back and he was angry and the stewardess had to handcuff him to the chair because he was trying to attack me.'" This is what Pamela Anderson says. She said he ends up thinking that she was a member of the Dixie Chicks during this whole Dixie Chick thing. She said, referring to the criticism of the band after its members spoke out against the United States invasion of Iraq in 2003. She said, Anderson, I almost got killed on a plane. And she said, I was a little bit scared to fly after that incident. That's pretty scary. I can imagine.
That's not her
People,
usual fan interaction, I'm sure.
no, people are crazy. Wow. This seems to be happening over and over and over again. 2 people were found dead in the landing gear compartment of a JetBlue plane after it landed in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The bodies were discovered on Monday night during a routine post-flight maintenance inspection at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. The deaths are being investigated. Both of the individuals were men. Their identities have not yet been confirmed. Detectives trying to research and investigate everything regarding this situation, how the individuals got on the plane, how long they were on the plane. At this point, they say they don't have much information. Autopsies will be done to determine the cause and manner of death. But isn't it a given? Don't we already know this, Albert, that people that are in the landing gear of planes and climb up in there are subject to extreme temperatures and most do not survive it?
Yeah, do they ever look at those screens? A lot of these planes have those screens and they show the temperatures of how it is in that altitude. It's like negative, very cold
Right.
up there.
Negative, very
So,
cold.
and
Yes.
I'm sure there's zero insulation in there, and they're not trying to make the wheel well human safe. So I can't
No.
imagine what that body and those people went through to do that.
Horrible. Yeah. It's been in the news recently. We've seen other incidents like this as well. Just last month, a body was discovered in the wheel well of a plane on arrival at Kahului, Maui. So that plane left Chicago. Can you imagine flying in the wheel well from Chicago to Maui? That's a long flight. So, and they don't know how that individual accessed the wheel well either. Pretty
Yeah,
scary.
how are these people even getting there? Are they
You'd think that access to the
getting through the
tarmac would
fences
be
of the
restricted.
tarmac? Like
Yeah, weird.
dodging
Um,
airplanes, running to this plane?
United Airlines also is going to bring Musk's Starlink on flights by spring. They are saying they expect to begin testing Starlink in February for in flight internet service and to first offer the connectivity on commercial flights operated this spring. United says they will outfit their 2-cabin regional fleet with the service by the end of 2025. Pardon me. And they'll have the first Starlink enabled plane on major routes in the air by the end of the year. And that Starlink will eventually be available on all of its flights.
Then the Starlink is actually very good on board. You could
Is it?
actually stream like YouTube and stream Spotify without even having to download anything.
Oh, wow.
What do you think about your little also high altitude? You're closer to the actual Starlink, right?
Sure.
The satellites up there. So
So I guess it would make
I guess
sense.
Elon is actually being helpful during this time.
I'm conflicted about that. He keeps sending more and more of these satellites up there that the experts are saying will end up as space junk.
There's
And
already currently a lot of space junk up there.
absolutely.
That is a huge problem. There's a lot of just crap up there, but
Hmm.
you know what? Elon wants the misinformation to be spread on your United flights
Exactly. There is
from on
nowhere
board.
that you are safe from misinformation and disinformation.
Yeah.
Come on. Lastly, how hot is too hot on a plane? The FAA is trying to figure this out. They've launched a new study as airlines face some scrutiny over cabin temperatures that can reach 90 degrees during boarding. It does get a little warm on there. They've got a lot of passenger complaints to contend with. And so now there's a federal safety study as part of the FAA's latest reauthorization. They're trying to figure out how hot is too hot. So they've contacted the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine to look into this subject. They say they've yet to fully develop a plan. Pending the study's scope, the study will be done over a 1-year period, examining the health and safety effects of the minimum and maximum aircraft cabin temperatures from passengers and crew. And that became kind of a largely talked about topic over the summer because we had some record heat. States like California were expanding workplace safety regulations, trying to protect workers from rising temperatures. There was a Politico investigation that revealed that neither Delta nor United nor Southwest had a maximum cabin temperature at the time that would prevent passengers from boarding. So
Because a lot of
American
times during boarding on these aircrafts, only the pilots and maintenance workers have the ability to adjust the temperature. So a lot of
Mhm.
times it's just the flight crew on board. So they have no capabilities of cooling down the aircraft. So
Mm. United Airlines allows cabin temperatures to hit 90 degrees before they consider it too hot to board. JetBlue recently raised its threshold from 85 degrees or lowered it from 85 degrees to 80 degrees. So,
80,
and this is,
80 seems
yeah,
fine. I think 80 would be a nice little temperature. That's
yeah,
that's already pushing it. So
I think so too. I think that's perfect. Well done, JetBlue. But it's all part of the FAA's broader oversight of cabin air quality to ensure that passenger compartments are free from harmful concentrations of smoke, vapor, or toxic fumes. They have to have a good ventilation system that supplies a half pound of fresh air per minute for each passenger, comparable to other public spaces. So, this is all part of this whole passenger compartment safety situation. There you go. And that is Stories from the Sky.
This has been Stories from the Sky. The captain has turned off the seatbelt sign, and you are now free to move about the cabin.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell, you'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.